Welcome to the Kill Count, where we tally up the victims in all our favorite horror movies. I'm James A. Janice, and today we're looking at Pet Sematary 2, released in 1992. Let me tell you right up top that this movie's insane. If you've never seen it before, you're in for a fucking ride, my friends. I don't even want to spoil any of the craziness that's headed your way, so let's just say that Clancy Brown giggling at rabbit sex is at the bottom of this movie's list of weird shit. Pet Sematary 2 was directed by Mary Lambert, who helmed the original film. A surprising fact, given that this sequel is nothing like the first one. Maybe because, unlike that first film, Pet Sematary 2 was not written by Stephen King. In some ways though, I think it ends up working out. Because while the first film sometimes felt like a book trying unsuccessfully to be a movie, Pet Sematary 2 has no pretenses about what it is. It's comfortable being a non-stop crazy train and ends up being arguably more entertaining because of it. Does that entertainment result in more kills? Let's find out and get to them. The movie begins in a gothic castle? What? Did I accidentally put in a Universal monster movie? Cut! Nope, turns out this is just a set for a crappy looking horror flick starring Renee Hallow, which is the character's name, not the actor's, so don't get confused. Renee is mother to the whiniest little shitbag I've ever had to deal with on the Kill Count, Jeff Matthews. Jeff is played by Edward Furlong and is currently trying to get his parents back together since they recently separated. But don't get your hopes up, kid. Over half of all marriages end up getting terminated. This slapdash set ends up fatally dangerous after some jackass knocks a power box thing right into a pool of water. Since Renee happened to be kneeling in a puddle, she gets shocked into convulsions. The electricity coursing through her body and the, actually metal fence prop there? That shit would be foam for show. She ends up dying against the grate while Jeff screams his puberty out. And we get a decent shot of gore when they peel her face off the fence. Ew. Jeff's dad, a veterinarian named Chase Matthews, who's played by Anthony Edwards, gets notified of his wife's death at work while he's right in the middle of putting a dog to sleep? Yo, fuck you, Pet Sematary 2. Nobody wants to see a fluffy good boy get euthanized by a nerd. Renee's funeral, held in her hometown of Ludlow, Maine, is plagued by paparazzi. Was she really that famous an actor? Because it looked like she was acting in a Full Moon quality picture. Oh, and by the way, the minister at this funeral is not played by Stephen King, because King made sure his name was nowhere near this weird-ass movie. Chase decides to move to Ludlow in order to get Jeff out of Los Angeles, and to help out around the house, he hires Marjorie Hargrove, a character who I promise you'll forget about entirely until the end of this video. Right now, though, she's telling Chase how big a fan she was of his late wife's work, and then gets extra creepy about it when a box of Renee's clothes falls in front of her, and she basically tries some of it on.
This is what you wore at the Emmys, isn't it?
Hey. Don't touch his stuff.
Only I can touch her stuff, okay? They go to the site of Chase's new animal practice, which is almost as dirty as it is brown, but that's okay, because in a back room, Jeff finds a box of adorable kitties. Oh my god!
Great, so now I've opened up an orphanage too?
Yeah, dude, a kitty orphanage. What are you bitching about? Chase hasn't opened the place yet, but his new kitty concierge is already greeting their first customer. Zowie, what is that, a husky? A Malamute? Whatever this dog's breed, he's the best damn dog actor I've seen since Uggy and the Artist. Zowie's person is Drew, who's come here with his stepdad, Gus Gilbert, sheriff of Ludlow and founder of the Krusty Krab. Hope that's his only experience with crabs though, because he immediately starts telling Jeff about how he used to bang his dead mom.
Yeah, your mother and I used to be sweethearts.
Really?
Prom, homecoming, whole 9 yards.
You gotta love Clancy Brown, last seen on the Kill Count trying to stay awake in the Nightmare on Elm Street remake. In this movie, he's the only one even trying to do a Maine accent, although sadly, there's not a single "iya" to be heard. Jeff goes to his courthouse-looking new school the next day and somehow smuggles his kitten into class. No friggin' way that cat wouldn't jump out of his jacket at the first sight of a pencil. After class, Jeff gets harassed by Clyde Parker, a bully played by Tom Hanks' friend in Big, who teases Jeff for having a dead mom and then catnaps his kitten. Yo, we're the teachers in this school. A super exciting bike chase begins, during which the kid playing Clyde actually holds this kitten while riding his bike and even screams in its cute little face.
You having fun yet?
Yeah, I think that meow means no, dick. They ride past the Creed house, which is definitely not the same house they used in the original, and wind up at the also totally different Pet Sematary trail. Clyde tells Jeff that his kitty is in the cemetery, then makes another dead mom joke, which earns him a jab to the face and a punchy grunty roll around. Clyde wins the scuffle and bikes away with his goons, leaving Jeff by himself to walk down the trail and enter the Pet Sematary. Pretty solemn place to be, huh, Jeff? Really makes you think about— what? Don't kick that dog grave, what the fuck, dude? Instead, he finds his kitten in a bird cage and rescues it from its ironic prison, then gets a heady vertigo zoom looking at the Landam Micmac Burial Grounds barrier. At Drew's house, Gus stares creepily as a couple of his rabbits do the Humpty Hump. Do the Humpty Hump. What you doing with another rabbit there on your thigh, Gus? I don't like that. Yeah, maybe put that fluffy boy away and figure out a healthier outlet for your sexual energy. Aw, no, man. I didn't mean feeling up your wife in the kitchen as her son watches with a not this shit again look on his face. Gus and Drew don't get along at all. Gus won't let his stepson watch hockey at the dinner table, he makes him keep his dog outside, and he insults his portion sizes.
Now, I thought we were gonna tone down on your flabby ass.
Damn, this kid's life must suck. Especially because you know Gus is gonna be purposefully loud in bed while he's screwing his mom. When Zowie tries to get into Gus's rabbit cage, it breaks the big man's concentration, and nobody gives Byron Hadley blue balls. So Gus goes outside with his rifle and holy shit, just friggin' shoots that dog, yo.
Gus, what have you done?
Come on, Amanda. Stop looking at me like that.
Yeah, I only shot your son's pet. I don't need your judgment. Drew finds Zowie bleeding by a tree, and the scene would be a whole lot sadder if it wasn't for the fact that you know this good boy dog actor got lots of tasty treats for doing such a good job here. Oh, he's so cute. Also, it's kinda hard to take this scene seriously when you've got a sappy song playing in the background with some vocals that end up getting a little Jack Black there. The next day, Drew tells Jeff that Zowie's dead, baby. Zowie's dead. So the two of them carry this dog carcass through the public pet cemetery and over the barrier to the secret pet cemetery, the Indian burial ground one, which, once again, gotta recommend our podcast episode featuring Joey Clift where we talk about that trope in horror movies. Drew tells Jeff about the burial ground's supposed powers, and Jeff don't take too kindly to the idea.
I know your dog died, but get a grip, man. You're freaking me out.
But Drew is undeterred, and when they get to the burial grounds, he knows that you have to bury your own, so he gets to digging a grave for his beloved Zowie, and when he's done, he tops the plot off with a cairn for any hikers in the area. Then he and Jeff sit down and chew some gum. Okay, yeah, I cut out the dialogue in those clips there, but still. Who made the choice to have these kids chomping on gum for an entire scene? Whatever, at least we get another awesome aerial shot that shows off the impressive burial grounds as they leave. That's pretty damn cool looking. And wow, does that shot go high. Is that thing on a helicopter? That night, Drew finds out that Zowie has come back as Smile Dog, but he can't be too happy about it. Not only because Zowie's not a good boy anymore, but also because Gus grounds him for lying about his dog being dead. Okay. They call Chase over in his pet ambulance or whatever, so Zowie can go to the ER, which in this case is just the Matthews house. Jeff's understandably tepid about having an undead dog as a house guest, especially since he's already got an adorable little bed kitten. Aw, cute little kitty. Hope it doesn't get too scared of the dog-headed dead mom rocking in a chair in Jeff's room. So sure, that was just a dream, but unfortunately for Jeff, the scary zombie dog in a rocking chair is totes for real. After 3 days, Zowie's wounds still haven't started healing yet, so Chase takes a blood sample and puts him in the kennel, although it looks more like a circus cage with that thing crawling around in it. Careful there, little orphan kitties. Now it's Halloween all of a sudden, and although Drew was grounded by Gus, his mom Amanda helps him put on his best Dracula makeup and lets him go out. He and Jeff, who's dressed like Jason for the splittest of seconds, go to the pet cemetery where both of their undead costumes would feel quite welcome. That is until a ghost mom falls onto Jeff and knocks him to the ground. God damn, dude, do bullies really tease people with dead parents this much? And what's that little Don King kid so damn smiley about? Close your mouth, jackass. Clyde takes off his face pantyhose long enough to tell all these underage drinkers the story of Louis Creed, which in 3 short years has become something of an urban legend. Unfortunately for these kids and their story time, it turns out Gus came home early tonight and found Drew missing from the house. So now he's here at the cemetery, sending these minors in possession running for their records. Gus grabs Drew and domestically abuses his face with a punch. Or is that police brutality? You know what, dude? I think it's both. Gus sucks. Before things can get even uglier, Zowie the zombie dog shows up and jumps onto Gus, knocking him to the ground. After a few minutes of growling and wrestling, the ex-carcass canine tears away at Gus's neck flesh. Owie, Zowie! This zombie dog's a one and doneer, cause Gus dies instantly, with his gnarly inner neck meats all exposed. Nice. Although Gus was the world's biggest doucher, these kids immediately decide to bring the bastard back from the dead. Yeah, give the psycho cop zombie powers. Great idea, guys. Also, it's hilarious how the movie skips past the part where these two 13-year-olds lug 6'4" Clancy Brown up a mountain. The rain that night doesn't keep Gus from coming back, and after peeping in on Jeff there, he goes to his own home and scares the crap out of Drew.
I need a shower.
And this, ladies and gentlemen, is when Clancy Brown's performance goes from competent to incredible, because Zombie Gus is what single-handedly makes this movie kind of awesome. In fact, Clancy Brown was nominated for an acting award from Fangoria for the performance. Too bad it was the same year as Silence of the Lambs, or else this might have taken it. Drunk Zombie Gus wraps up his neck wound and then goes to bed, where he sexually assaults Amanda, but we don't need to see that here. It's not like the movie pays it any importance. Instead, it skips ahead to the next day, when Drew tells Jeff that Gus was pretty cool to him that morning, and was almost acting like a real dad. Meanwhile, Jeff's real dad, Chase, gets the results from Zowie's blood sample, and bad news, Goose, the diagnosis is that dog be dead. Even worse, that dead dog be gone. I'll spare you the shot of bloody orphan kitten bits, though, evidence that Zowie had a feast of felines on his way out. Chase visits Dr. Yolander, who this movie claims was Ludlow's town vet during the Creed family incident, but I watched that first movie and I don't know him. In truth, this guy is only here to tell Chase about the cemetery's powers and laugh maniacally with his stuffed animals to some grunge music. That L7 track plays over a montage of Gus gutting rabbits like he's in a Michael Moore movie. Zombie Gus is efficient and messy, as Jeff sees when he comes over to Drew's for dinner that night. Yo, Drew, when did Gus get so cool? Oh man, Gus is awesome now. Yeah. Over at the Matthews house, Chase is watching his dead ex-wife in a movie where she gets shot and killed. What are you doing, dude? That's not gonna be good for your mental health. That's proven later that night when he's sleeping in a bed of blue light. Chase has a real sensual wet dream that looks like it's taking place in Tommy Wiseau's bed, and after Dream Renee talks of a potential reunion,
I can come back, Chase.
things somehow get even more bizarre. Oh no, Doghead! Oh, and Chase can't seem to stop? Chase, no! That's at least half illegal, dude! He finally wakes up, only to find a zombie dog sitting in his lap. Wowee, Zowie, that was not cool, dude. Zowie attacks him, and they get into a feathery pillow fight. And when Chase tries to shoot the undead dog, it just straight up jumps through a freaking window. Wow, that dog actor is dope! The next morning, Jeff is riding his bike home from Drew's house when Motorbiking Clyde rolls up and grabs Jeff's handlebars to drive him off the road. My friends and I used to do shit like that on our bikes. We called them speeder bike wars. It was very dangerous. Clyde threatens to take off Jeff's nose with his bike tire spokes, but before he can actually do it, he's stopped by a zombie sheriff. Gus tells Jeff to go home because I guess now he likes this little wiener kid, and then gets straight back to hitting kids. Looks like Zombie Gus is a lot like normal Gus, only Zombie Gus takes it one step further after he grabs Clyde's dirt bike.
What you doing, man? I'm just fucking with you.
Nah, actually Gus is being for real, despite his silly tongue waggling, because Clyde's scarf gets caught up in the bike tire and it leads to the boy's messy death. Whoops. Might as well finish what you started, Gus, and boy howdy does he. When he's done with that dirt bike, Clyde's face is no more than a pulpy mess. Turns out Gus's anti-bullying outreach had an audience of one, and now that Gus has blood in his eyes, he chases after Drew and scares him wee all the way home. Drew grabs a gun, but apparently Zombie Gus had some foresight in that dead brain of his.
I got something, Drew, buddy.
Gus ends up with a hammer, and with Zombie Zowie's help, chases Drew upstairs, where he closes the door just in time to stop this awesome dog actor's door attack. Drew climbs out the window right as his mom Amanda gets home, and after he gets in the car, Gus leaps onto the windshield like the Mista lady. Bet y'all wish you had an air conditioner right now, don't ya? They drive away, and Gus runs after them before realizing, oh yeah, I have a car of my own. I should just go get that. And thus we get a car chase set to the Jesus and Mary chain. Sheriff Zombie Gus eventually catches up to Drew and Amanda and rams them in front of a truck that crushes their car like a pop can. Aw no, and then they get covered in potatoes. Gus, they had just gotten serious about the Atkins diet. By the way, I'm not adding the truck driver to the list because even though his vehicle ends up pretty wrecked, I think it was far safer than the one that left Drew and Amanda all bloody with fries. Gus returns to Clyde's body so he can bury him in the Micmac grounds. So that night, the news reports Clyde is missing after filling Chase in on Drew and Amanda's starchy deaths. Chase goes to break the news to Jeff, but finds him being a creeper in the attic. What you doing there, Jeff?
Getting things ready for Mom.
Oh, that's concerning. Jeff is all of a sudden even more insufferable as he tells his dad his plan to bring Renee back.
There's this place in the woods. If you bury something there, it comes back to you.
Chase grabs Jeff by the scruff of his clothes, but right in the middle of this kid's awful smirk, the dad is interrupted by a phone call. The call was from the cemetery caretaker, who shows Chase that his wife's body is missing after Gus came and took it for quote-unquote police purposes. Yeah, or for a hot zombie date. Jeff goes and meets up with Gus, who's, what, now apparently working for the little shitheel? Cause he hand-delivers Renee's corpse and reminds Jeff of the burial grounds rules.
You bury your own.
Seriously, when did these two become besties? Did that all come from one burp at the dinner table? Chase drives over to Gus's house and immediately gets attacked by Zowie, who bites into his shoulder before Chase shoots him a few times, scaring him off. Chase goes inside to find the place with new interior design by John Murdy, and Gus in the kitchen, working with power tools. Looks like Chase's gunshots finally put Zowie down for good, and now he's gonna try the same trick with Gus. But Gus don't go down so easy, so they get into a fight where Gus sadistically drills into Chase's shoulder wound and tries his hand at a Freddy-like one-liner.
No brain, no pain.
Not bad for a first-timer, Gus. Keep it up. But Gus doesn't keep it up, because eventually, Chase gets the gun back and shoots Gus through the chin with it. Gus stumbles back, and Clancy Brown does a good stunt fall, pulling a cabinet down on top of him. And as always, I'm not putting a zombie kill on the list, because that could get real messy in future movies. Back at the Matthews home, Marjorie wakes up from a couch nap. Remember her? Yeah, now you do, but I bet you had forgotten about her just like I said you would. She follows a noise into the attic, where she finds Renee's fineries and gets real excited about them. After playing a bit of dress up with the dead woman's clothes, she gets her comeuppance when she finds that Renee has returned.
Did you really think you could be like me?
Renee takes a mirror shard and kills Marjorie with it off screen, but we see her body in a little bit and it's pretty gnarly. Her eye all cut up and the mirror shard lodged in her head. Jeff hears Marjorie's murder and he don't give a single goddamn about the housekeeper. He's just happy to have his mom back, which he shows with the creepiest smile imaginable. You know, aside from all his other smiles in this movie. Chase comes home and after finding Marjorie dead, he finds his ex-wife Undead, and she tells him that they can get back together and be a whole creepy little crappy family again. But Chase ain't in the zombie fucking business, you know, unless they're half dogs, so he sends Jeff downstairs so the grown-ups can have a discussion. When Jeff goes to leave though, he finds zombie bully Clyde cribbing a line from Chucky.
Wanna play?
The undead bully attacks Jeff while his undead mom laughs about it. That's gotta be rough. And as if their fight wasn't theatrical enough, what with the bile and the biting and the eye gouging, Renee kicks it up a notch by lighting a fire right there on the floor. Jeff dodges an axe swing from Clyde and it goes into an electrical box instead, so Jeff grabs one of the severed cables and stuffs it into Clyde's mouth. It's another zombie kill that won't go on the count, but I'm definitely gonna let y'all enjoy it because just as I had hoped for, this zombie bully's head blows up. Boom, baby! Jeff tends to his dad, who was knocked out during that zombie bully fight, while his mom stands on a bed behind him. I can't really see her back there. Think we could maybe get like a crash zoom on her face while she says Scorpion's catchphrase?
Come here!
Perfect. Renee starts cracking open and melting, and I guess that makes this bloody boy finally realize that, yeah, maybe you don't want your zombie mom to be the one with custody.
Father and I are trying to work things out!
No, I'm good. Turns out one parent's enough. Jeff helps his dad off the ground, and they leave the attic as Renee screams for him to stay, trying to sell him on the merits of that zombie life.
That is better! That is better!
Then all her skin melts off and she becomes a skeleton standing on a bed. That's just great. The movie ends with confirmation that at least Jeff's kitten survived, and then the father and son getting the hell out of that town while the very weird in memoriam happens for all the characters who died in this movie. You know, like Renee and Gus and wait, who the hell is that? This movie was more gory than the first film, but did it have as many kills? Let's find out at the numbers. Only 6 people died in Pet Sematary 2, so no, that's fewer than the first movie, and I didn't count zombies in either of them. There were 3 male victims and 3 female victims, giving us one of those rare even pie charts, and with a runtime of 100 minutes, we had a kill on average every 16.67 minutes. I'll give the golden chainsaw for coolest kill to Clyde. It's an easy pick for me. Using a dirt bike tire is pretty unique, and it's got the shock factor that it happens to a frickin' teenager. Dull machete for lamest kill will go to Renee, cause I think it looks downright silly the way she's shaking around like that. The only good part is the bit of singed skin on her cheek. And that's it. Pet Sematary 2 came out in 1992, and after this movie, there was not a Pet Sematary 3. Shocking, I know. We are getting a reboot, remake, whatever on April 5th, which I'll cover, you should know this by now, after it comes out on Blu-ray. Until then, I'm James A. Janice. This has been The Kill Count. Thanks a lot for watching this Kill Count. I want to thank a couple of patrons like Vesper, Zach HG, Gary Story, and Anthony. Yo, raw potato tastes like shit. I also didn't wash it before I did that, so it just tasted like dirt too. Can't believe French fries come from that. Hope you guys have been enjoying my movie selections for this year so far. I've been trying to do ones that people request a lot, which is also the case for next week's movie. Thanks, be good people.